Well, the wait is over yet again. Time for more Sid Meier's Civilization VII here on the channel. Welcome back. Good to see you all here. Remember, this one coming out on the 11th of February 2025 or on the 6th, depending on if you got those early access and advanced editions. Now, this game has been a lot of fun so far, and today I'm going to try to make some more videos starting from here forward to try to cover some topics that you all wanted to see and some things that may have interested us the most. Now, later in this month and really early next month, we'll be able to take an increased deep dive into this game, as currently some things are a little restricted on what we can showcase. For example, we'll not be taking a look at anything from the modern era, but I know many of you have taken an interest in the Age of Exploration, and even more so the Age of Antiquity, and how things work between the leaders and the civilizations kind of working together, and possibly what might come to the future of Civilization VII for DLCs and much more. So welcome back, and good to see you all here. Now, again, remember to reiterate things that I mentioned in our first video. We're only limited to 60 minutes of gameplay, and we're already starting to burn up a lot of that as we show different features of the game. Now, I don't think 60 minutes is enough to even showcase in, a sped up game all of what it has to offer for the Age of Antiquity and the Age of Exploration. There would just be simply too much to cover, and it would really just be like a very, very fast buffet. You'd have to grab a bunch of stuff, and it would be really sloppy in order to try to see what's going on in the game. And so I've been trying to take a little look at everything that you've wanted to see in snippets of about 10 minutes. Now, for those of you still watching here, which I know many jump to the middle and then ask a bunch of questions as to what's going on and whatnot, the purpose of me delivering all this information at the start is so that way I can kind of explain everything that's going on for those of you who really want to know the details and the information pertaining to the game and how different it plays from Civilization V or Civ II or whatnot, or some things that are similar, but also to convey that, well, it's very possible that Firaxis may send over additional keys for me and many others to give away around the time of its launch. Heck, the game has multiplayer, and, it's tons of fun to play multiplayer. In fact, it's a great game to build friendships, and really plays to me like a lot like Monopoly. I've started countless games of Monopoly and countless games of Civilization, but very few that I've finished, but when I have, I certainly remember them the most. So if you'd like a chance to win one of those, make sure you spam Glory to Raptoria down below in the comments section, and again, let me know your favorite Civilization game, as I've been asking a lot of people and hearing a lot of great thoughts on what their first Civ game was, but also what they thought was their favorite, and some other Civ games that could really benefit Civ VII, for example, with its new system where, again, each nation can be played at different eras. We could start, for example, in the modern era as the United States if we wanted to, or go all the way through as Benjamin Franklin, or perhaps maybe even Augustus as Rome, all the way through to, let's say, Britain and other things like that. So there's a lot of possibilities in this game. It bends history. It always does and always has, because it's Civ, and you can kind of write your history based on existing history. Now, one thing that really interested me, and here's what we're doing today, is playing as the Shawnee in the advanced building mode. There is a way where we could jump ahead and kind of have our cities pre-planned out and pre-built by the AI, and we can make a few choices to kind of get a jump and a head start in a game. And this is really cool, because for those of you who really have a lot of time to play Civilization, this might allow you to play multiple games at once with all the different friends that we all may have on Discord and Steam. And that's one thing that Firaxis, when they flew us out there in August of 2024, when we got a chance to play it, we've literally spoken with the devs, and I've had these conversations with other creators as well, where one of the most important things is, unfortunately for many people, they don't get a chance to get past the early turns of Civ. Even hell, 200 turns is nothing in comparison to playing with a bunch of friends and not being able to return to the game. So being able to start in many different eras and then being able to start kind of more advanced really gives anybody an option to play however the hell they want. Not to mention, mixing a leader with a civilization, or mixing, something like starting in the Age of Exploration and rushing to the modern age. You can kind of more control what you want to do, and that's a cool thing. If you don't want to do it, if you don't like it, then you don't. And if it's something where it's like, well, I want to play Civ, but I don't have a lot of time, but I do want to get some turns in, it benefits those folks as well. So anyway, thanks again for subscribing to, and join our Discord. Links down below in the description for that giveaway, by the way. And thanks again for watching. So please, if you have any questions pertaining to Civilization VII, my duty or my goal here with this series is to really answer the questions that you may have of all the videos that are out there from the developers. There are certainly still some unanswered questions, so please do ask me anything you'd like about the game down below, and I'll try to explore it myself in my free time, and or try to get back to you in the comments section, or try to make a video about it if it's something interestingly like interesting enough. Now, we've already taken a first look and done first impressions, and we've already done a little bit of military, but now I want to do a nation, the Shawnee nation, that seems really fascinating to me. I saw their live stream today, which was from a little while ago, and it got me interested in the video we're making. So thanks again for all your support, kindness, positivity, patience, and understanding as we make these videos a little different than usual. I understand that it's not something we always do, but it's something we love to do no matter what, because it's games. Without further ado, let's start ourselves a brand new game in Civilization VII as the Shawnee. Let's go. Before we get started in creating our map, I just wanted to lay things out on who we're playing as and how and when. So to do this advanced start mode, we have to do so by going to the Age of Exploration or the Modern Age in order to then kind of set some things up as if we've been playing from the age before. So here we are going to play as the Shawnee leader, which we can play as from the very beginning of the game. Any of these leaders are available from, you know, the get-go, from the very start of the game, and we're going to start in the Exploration Age. We're going to cross oceans and explore the world, but we're going to play a scenario that kind of reminds me a bit of what I really liked a lot about Age of Empires 3. That game had a hell of a lot of cool stuff going on with Native Americans and different tribes, and also a little bit of the American War of Independence, the Revolutionary War, as well as some other factions that fought each other in the Americas as well. So, for example, France and Spain and the United Kingdom, Britain, fighting it out for dominance of the Americas and also the Caribbean, etc., etc. So we're going to play on Governor Mode, Quick, Continents, and the Tiny Map, which does allow us to play with 4 players here. We're going to go with Isabella, Napoleon, and Benjamin Franklin. Against us is Spain, the Normans, aka kind of France a little bit, and then also the Shawnee a bit, kind of representing what could eventually become the Americans, because Benjamin Franklin and the Shawnee tribe do have the choice to then convert to become American, or even, I think, maybe Mexican? Might be a different tribe. I haven't learned them all yet, but what is cool, though, is that all these leaders do have the option to go down several different civilizations, and some of these civilizations also have the option to do that, too. So you very well could be playing as Benjamin Franklin as the Egyptians, and then suddenly become American. It's literally a thing that's listed under the leader thing, so it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll kind of, you know, lead a path of resistance that the Shawnee did against all those foreign powers from Europe and whatnot. It'll be pretty cool. Let's go. To get started with gameplay, I just wanted to show you how we're going to set things up for this advanced start, which is really cool. Again, a way to save time and or get right into some of the nations or civilizations and maybe perhaps times of leaders that you really want to play as. For example, playing as the Normans, as Napoleon, and then eventually going French from that, you know, that kind of thing. So all these different leaders do have the option, for example, like Benjamin Franklin, to have your nation become American. So it very well is possible for you to start as the Egyptians and then eventually at the end of the game start the United States, if you'd like to. Imagine that. Anyway, long story short, we are picking our leader here, who is a Shawnee tribal leader, and you can play this guy from the very beginning. So the Age of Antiquity, you could play as the Mississippians, for example, a leader of this tribe. I believe it does talk about a little bit of the history and some of their benefits, and there of course is a mementos tab, which does allow you to pick all sorts of different perks here, like for example inscribe sling bullets or complaint. Oh yes, the famous, oh, do you remember this? Yeah, the substandard copper is unacceptable. If you don't know about this, basically an Egyptian person wrote to basically another to basically say that it's a complaint letter. They're being a Karen, but maybe rightfully so. Who knows? But very interesting history and cool that there's all these different things that we have to unlock. So you can always modify a leader on top of already their different modifications between each other. So that's cool. We're then going to play in the Exploration Age, getting that advanced start bonus. We're going to go with a little bit of what I saw for the Shawnee history in the live stream from the developers, where we're going to be kind of defending against all these forces trying to expand against us. We'll be playing as kind of the natives, in my mind, as the Shawnee tribe, and so the Spanish will be there, the Normans, who eventually will become French, and then maybe Benjamin Franklin, who does have the option to go down the tier of being you know, the United States later in time. So kind of playing as a quote-unquote colonial power with no, you know, Great Britain to be found or anything like that. This is as close as I can get, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's get started with our first look at the Shawnee tribe and also an advanced start in Civilization VII. Let's go.
The Shawnee will craft their legacy of unity. and dominance.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, though this tribe is more around Ohio, and I think they even have a monument that is a serpent's tomb or a burial mound of some sort, I believe. Yeah, I think this really resonates well with where I live in Minnesota, representing the lakes and rivers where I grew up. And so there's a special connection to this for us, for example, with the Ojibwe and other native tribes too. It's really cool to see a native power here. It reminds me of the love of Age of Empires 3, that game having, again, the British and the Spanish and native tribes all kind of fighting against each other during the Revolutionary War and times past that to then, go into the War of 1812 where native people were a part of that as well. So very cool. We're going to rush through a lot of these tutorial screens. Pause at any time you'd like. Again, remember, we're limited to 10 minutes here, but we are going to go economic as well, as that's kind of a Shawnee powerhouse to focus on agricultural and trade and economics. So we're going to go down that tier, and we're going to continue with that. So we're going to accept our objective of the treasure fleet, which, we'll eventually have to discover new lands as our people, but very cool. This was randomly started by the game. This is where we've randomly started and randomly grown, and this is really cool, actually. We get a big bonus for being near lakes and rivers like this, and indeed we have ourselves a Big O Lake, Big O Rivers, and Big O Bays, too. That's very nice. That's a good big bonus for us. Love to see it. Now, a little bit of the map is already explored for us, so we do see all the lands that are around us, kind of some Asian flat plains here, and also rough jungle, and it looks like that's the biome that we're in for the time being, so a lot of Asian forest and landscapes will be present here, so pretty cool. Now we can go ahead and place some of our other cities and get them started. Now remember, these start as towns, and then later on we can upgrade them to cities, and cities are a lot harder to capture too as they grow. The districts of those cities will have to be captured, so it's a lot harder to blitz without a prolonged war unless you're capturing towns or really ready for it. So we can place a city or a town, or we can go for attributes, walls, and all these other things too. So there's certainly a way for us to kind of lean towards as if we've already been focusing on these things before, like we've already been fortifying or we've already been making cavalry, although we haven't. So I think I'm going to go for another city just because it's just going to be cool to do that, so we'll go with that. And anything we don't spend here, anything that we don't choose, we will get in, I think, form of gold and some other benefits too. So let's go with a city, and let's go with another town too, and then let's go with a infantry army. Is there scouts available? We have options for gold and a capital upgrade, cartography, machinery, astronomy. Let's go with maybe some more cavalry then, and let's also go for a little bit more gold too, and then I think that'll lock us out. Does appear to be so. We can also autofill, and we can go back to the map to kind of view things that we might want to change, but we've already chosen here, and we can also filter between those things, so that's cool. So let's confirm our legacy, and now we're going to start placing our settlements. So we're going to probably settle up here somewhere. A nice city up here would be great. Yep, that's exactly where I was thinking too. So that's perfect for... Nice. Oh, and a road already connected with a roundabout around the oasis. Cool. Yeah, so another coastal city, which does have a benefit of a river, and they've already placed all the farms and things. I absolutely love the look of this game. Some people were saying it was a little bland and boring. I totally could see that. On the other hand, this definitely looks like a board game to me, and if I had a board game like this, if I could play Civ where it was a board game and these buildings look this beautiful, I would be very happy with that. And the world leaders and the units look outstanding too. Goodbye to kind of the cartoony look. They certainly do kind of look that way a little bit, but I believe they're 90% chained. They still have a difference to them from what it looked like before. So I'm happy with that. I think that's great. Additionally, we have another settlement over here, which would be perfect, so we could build a town. Yep, exactly what I was thinking too, right over there. And it looked like the river of Belize. Oh, looks like we've discovered Prussia, I guess, somehow. Interesting. Wait, oh, they have military commanders? Something like that. I don't know, we unlocked that civilization, so cool. We probably won't be toying with that too much because, of course, we're playing with the, the other civilizations and leaders that we started with. So cool stuff. So now that's pretty much a quick start for us. We could also do overbuilding now. So now that we're in the age of exploration, it's almost as if the previous age came to an end. So we're basically making changes to what we, let's say we had already played 60, 100, 120 turns or whatever of the previous era. And now we're getting ready to, convert religions and build things over old things. So as you could imagine, a medieval European city that was thousands of years old then and now into the modern age is thousands of years old. You have crypts built onto train stations, built on top of that, like an underground mall, and then a building on top of that. So there's layers and layers of history. History is built in layers, I think is what they've been saying. So pretty cool. We can then change one of these buildings to a bazaar if we'd like to, or really build that wherever we want to give us an additional bonus. Now look at that. We get a +4 here if we build up there, based on what you see on the left side, the adjacency bonuses. So that's why that would be a +7, or maybe a +11 here, or +6. So I think we'll go with, and that would be right where our capital is. So let's build that out here, because we also do get some more bonuses from the other tiles that are around it. So we'll just plop that there for now. No biggie. And then we're going to choose a government now. And I think we're going to lean more into a monarchy, because, again, food bonuses are huge for us. And we can also, of course, like sell and trade a lot of food and other goods there that way. So we'll get a little bit more balanced as time goes on. We're going to pick a science choice, and we'll probably go with cartography. And then we're going to move into our choice of civics. So I think we'll go with economics. We're going to, again, try to focus on bringing up gold and bringing up maybe a little bit of influence. Try to get those numbers up a little higher. People are open to a policy change. Let's go with the gift economy, which will give us +1 gold and happiness for every imported resource, which we more than likely could do with all of our rivers and boats that we're focusing on. And shell-tempered pottery, which will give us additional gold as well. So hopefully we'll get rid of that deficit over time. Kind of cool, though, that we're like, it's almost as if we've inherited this nation, like we're the newly elected leader, and so it feels a little bit more like we're playing somebody else's game, or a civilization that's thousands of years old at this point, that's going to last another couple thousand. And very cool to be able to do that and see, new units and things available. So I like that, because oftentimes maybe you don't want to play the Age of Antiquity to get to here, or you're really hell-bent on wanting to be the Normans, so you don't have to go through what's before. Although it kind of shortens your game a little bit. You do have the option to like pick the faster game, that kind of thing. Let's just create an urban district there. My choices that I'm making now are not recommended. I'm just showing you exactly how things work, so totally fine to be able to show that off. And we'll expand our city too. Let's go with maybe a little bit more of a focus on gold. Well, down there we get 3-1. Looks like everywhere around the coastline we'll get a 3-1, but we'll get a little bit more happiness here. Wow, look at that. Let's get ourselves a little bit of a forested area there if we want. Can't do it at the moment, but it's an option for the future. Rough grassland there. It does have a mine, for example, there, so that'd be good. And then now we can import some resources and allocate resources too. So we've got nothing that we need to allocate at the moment, but our capital is getting a few things of silk, gypsum, and our other city is getting truffles. Oh yeah. And then also Cullen and ivory too at the other town over there, which we can also immediately upgrade this town too and start working on that. So we could, if we wanted, upgrade this town, and then it would cost us a bit of money. So now we got some of our military units ready to go. We've got boats ready to go. We got our army commander already sitting in the water there with a couple of tribesmen already assigned. So that's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and see if we can maybe import them to that, or like onboard them into that army. Maybe not. I'd like to get everybody on board. It'll be a little tricky to do that, but yeah, a few things about cartography as well. The look is outstanding. I absolutely love the way this looks, and I really am happy with that. The AI, I don't know if we got lucky or whatnot, but was very smart to settle here to where we're along a river. That really benefits our people. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Our army commander now set up the way we want, so we can go out and explore a little bit. And we can probably go along the coastline. Now, remember, in the age of exploration, we take damage whenever we go into these open ocean tiles. So we'll have to stop at little islands when we are actually exploring. And we'll have to repair our ships. And, it's like as if the Spanish and other people who had done this before, where they took things like the Canary Islands and turned those into bases to cut down trees, repair, grow food, and then resupply there. So, very nice. Wow, we got a lot of army units ready to go here. This is crazy, actually. Very nice. We'll go to our next turn and see how it all goes from there. Nice. So, yeah, we'll move our forces upriver. And we'll move some more of our forces upriver, too. And we can kind of keep going up these larger navigable river tiles. Now, one thing that the developers did say is that a capital, from what I understand, has canals too. So if we happen to place this, let's say that this river was not here and it just ended, and then there was another river here. Apparently, if we put our capital right on where we could have a river tile, it will make a river tile. It'll make like a canal. So oftentimes, if you're finding a new city, you could create a canal out of that by plopping down a city there. So let's just say that this river went all the way through, and we wanted to create one tile passage. We could create a canal right there. So it makes that city very, very important for controlling naval traffic. So if you happen to have, like right here, for example, if we had a couple of, that would be a really good example of this. Here, Madrid is fortified, but if Madrid had somehow built a city here and had the waterline come up, then boats could pass right through. So it'll be perfect for their economic trade partners, their own trading and or shipment of stuff, and also movements of troops. Now, it looks like we might be facing a barbarian crisis here soon enough. That's something. Oh, the ancient Swedes. Look at that. Oh, hej, Sverige. Välkommen min kompisar hemma du. Look at this. Mount Borkbork over here, too. That's probably not a historically accurate mountain or whatnot. It looks like it's just tundra, but it certainly did look like a very cool, I guess, landmark. Okay, so it looks like for the most part, it's just us. And it looks like Spain down here, and maybe some of our other friends are around too. They might be over on the other parts of the maps too, wherever they may be. So, actually here we got France up here in the, or the Normans up here in the upper left, Spain down here in the south, and us over on the east side. So now you can kind of see how we can immediately start this way, and it takes out the, maybe the fun of the early exploration of the Age of Antiquity, where there is truly a lot of exploration there. In fact, tons. As you're sending out scouts and sending them down coastlines and up rivers, going for sailing and then trying to immediately find out what the map looks like and where the good resources are is incredibly important. It looks like for the most part this map is rather flat. There's not really a lot of mountains anywhere, except for maybe down here with Spain. There is looks like a landmark there possibly. Oh yeah, there it is. It's called the Horiquago there. And then also it looks like there's a mountain tundra there, but it doesn't really show much more of it being an important landmark that exists. No volcanoes though, but one thing I have seen a ton in this game is when you put disasters onto light, man, it's an instant disaster. I mean, literally I've seen volcanoes erupting, thunderstorms, and like floods all within like 5 turns. And if we were starting in, for example, the advanced start, that would have more than likely wiped out or damaged some districts and maybe possibly sunk some ships and other things like that. So yeah, I love the look of the units. I think everything looks good, feels good, is good. I like when we click on units too, they kind of bounce a little bit to attention. So you can tell that you've definitely clicked on them, and the music is outstanding. Each of the different civilizations getting their own music, which, by the way, it seems to play no matter who you're playing as. So if we happen to find Xerxes and the Persians or something like that, then the theme changes for a while. But this is the lovely Shawnee tribe chant that I've heard so much when I was playing back in August when I went to Firaxis Game Studios too. So very cool stuff. Now I want to know from all of you down below in the comments section, what should I ask the developers? If we have a chance to get an interview with Firaxis in the future, I could reach out to a lot of these folks and ask questions about future DLCs, future civs, future leaders, quality of life changes, or some things that you really don't like. Dig deep. What don't you like about this game and what do you love? What should I tell them if I get a chance to speak with any of them? I would love to know from all of you, what are some things that you want to see here on the channel, and what are some other things that you want to know about this game before you, buy it, or try it before you buy it by getting it via Game Pass and then being like, oh, that's definitely for me, and then getting it on Steam later, or of course consoles. Remember, February, on the 11th of February, everyone can play this one, but early advanced access on the 6th for anybody getting those Extendo early bonus editions, and at early February, we'll be live streaming this as well within the first couple of days. So certainly we'll be answering a lot of questions there. I know these are short and sweet videos, but they're very important to me to be able to at least convey as much information as I can so I can experience and show you as many nations and leaders as possible. Or we could have just played as one and gone through like an hour of barely anything in the Age of Antiquity. So I think this was the best way to do it, honestly.